Good evening, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans. What's going on, guys? It's Gregory Puff here. I'm hanging out with El Markin, and we are on day 3/track 3 of the Duckling Derby. This is Gaia Mountain. How are you doing today, El Markin?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to this the third track that we've been running here for this Duck Derby. Now, we got some practice in earlier this week. Saw a bunch of ducks in Discord kind of doing their thing, getting their feet wet, and I think it's going to be a great race tonight.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'm really excited to see these guys do their thing. Seeing a lot of these guys finishing up duckling seeds, Mundungo, Fry Teeth. We've got Dwight down on the bottom right here, and Foolish Feline, all of which have been running the duckling seeds every single week, so I am familiar with them. How are our standings looking right now? Do you have standings pulled up to see where we are with these particular runners?
Yeah, so our number one runner, not on stream, but caps out at 62 points. There's a handful of people in the 50s and upper 40s, and that's kind of where our runners are at right now. So White's sitting here, he's got 52 points. Mundungu has 48. Foolish Feline has 47. And Fry Teeth sitting at 43. So honestly, with first place having 40 points, there's still a lot of movement that can happen before the big bad race tomorrow. So
yeah. Well, it looks like everyone's pretty much ready to rock and roll. We may have an issue getting the race going. We're trying to figure out what's going on here. So we may have a little bit of technical issues here, but no big deal. We'll just talk about the particular flags while we're waiting on everything to get going. So right now, what these flags are is this is basically entrance floor shuffle, but the towns are vanilla. So all the towns are in their normal spots, but each entrance is going to have a completely different floor, and each stairway will lead to a completely different area until you get to a bottom, whether that be a castle, whether it be ice cave. You just never know where the game is going to take you. So a spell like warp and exit are going to be huge in these particular flags.
yeah, and the thing that's really nice too is, we know we want to see that warp and exit, but at least towns are vanilla, like you mentioned. So at least they'll still have access to magic. We don't have something nasty on, like, deep towns, or, even like having the town entrances shuffled, and, maybe we don't have a town until we get out of the inner sea. So at least we have, levels 1 through 4 magic to help us get through the early entrances, kind of do some dives, maybe find some loose, because I believe we've got 2 loose in these flag sets. They may or may not be required, though, so it all depends on kind of where the dice fall.
Yeah, so one of the main things is, if you're familiar with what we were doing in the spring tournament this past year, we've got a canal that is inherently loose. So the canal will always be loose no matter what. It's going to be in a box somewhere in the inner sea. We may not need that canoe depending on where the canal, depending on where the canoe and floater end up landing, but the canal is going to be loose somewhere out there in the world. We've got 2 loose items, like you said. Incentive locations are going to be, of course, Ordeals, Ice Cave, and Carrie's Floor, which is an incentivized volcano where the red dragon chest is. And looks like we're good to go here, finally. So we should get everything dropped here in just a moment, and these runners will go at it. Let's take a look at these parties real quick. So we've got Fighter Rainbow over here on the left from Mundungo and Foolish Feline. Fry Teeth running Black Belt strats, which is very interesting considering it is entrance floor shuffle. You do have blurst weapons on, and we've got 2 loose items plus the loose canal. And then Dwight is running a Fighter Double Red Mage Black Mage. What do you think of these parties?
Left side, Fighter Rainbow, it's the safe, play for these kind of flags. You're guaranteeing yourself access to spells because you're opening chests. You're going to have to sit there, and you're going to be going through and opening boxes. So you're almost guaranteed to find fighter gear, unless you're, 2 loose items happen to be the first 2 boxes you open up. I'm kind of digging the right-hand side, though. Like, I like Dwight, like the Fighter Double Red Black. I think that's a lot of firepower if the right spells land in the right slots, like especially like level 2 Black. And then I'm really kind of liking the Black Belt Rainbow, too. I believe this is at least the second time Fry Teeth has run this comp so far. And I mean, it's working out, and with shuffled tiles on, all you need to do is find a good tile early, and you're steamrolling mode.
Yeah, so as you can see, we're in our weapon shop here on the right side, on Fryteeth's side. And you'll notice there are number modifiers. So you've got a plus. Well, it doesn't have the plus sign, but there's a number, and then you'll see a negative number, and that just basically modifies the either amount of absorb or evade armor pieces have, and how much damage output weapons will have. As far as magic is concerned, well, I mean, we got lit 3 and we got fast level 1 black mage, and then of course the big pickup on the white mage side is the life spell, which is red mage learnable. So Dwight already looking pretty awesome by bringing those 2 red mages along, as well as that chain armor that's for sale.
Yeah, kind of lucked out that it landed in that 3rd slot. Like, everybody's got 2 life casters right off the bat. Everyone who's running a fighter is going to have a 3rd here, once they class promote. Only one missing out on that 3rd life caster is going to be Fryteeth, but I don't think it's really going to affect them too much.
Yeah, they walked into Canaria Castle and immediately greeted with the first level of ice floor, which everyone knows out of. I do not blame them.
Yeah, that's a long walk. Level 1 just on a hope and a prayer to get to the stairs.
Yeah, but Mermaid's up in Topher, so that's pretty nice. That's a bunch of. It's not incentivized, but it's a bunch of free chests. There's no encounters here. You got like a silver hammer +3, a silver helmet +3. So no matter what you get here, it's gonna be good as far as moving forward with the rest of the seed. Ooh, Thorson.
Yeah, I mean, ooh, that's a good pickup. Mermaids is really nice to see early, especially in these flags, because we've added a lot. But money's the big kind of constrainer for a lot of these runs with your early.
Yeah, did you see that big pickup there on the Foolish Feline side? Actually, it was a double pickup. Floater is loose here in Mermaids, so that's already one loose item out of the way, which makes Fryteeth's pick of the black belt actually going to be worth something.
Yeah, the biggest question here is going to be, how are we going to get down to the airship dock? So we have extended open progression on. So we either need to find the canal or we need to find the canoe. So as soon as we find one of the two, zoom, we're off to the sky.
Yeah, the thing with the entrance floor shuffle and the fact that the canal is going to be loose somewhere in the inner sea is that the canal could be at the bottom of Canaria Castle, and whatever that dungeon could potentially be. So we don't know exactly where the canal is going to be, and it doesn't guarantee that the canoe is going to be around here. So, what would you do at this point? You've got the floater already. Do you hope that maybe you can find the canoe from, like, maybe Dicky, or check some other entrances? What are you thinking right now?
I'm not a big fan of, like, going into ice, like, right off the bat. Lit 3 can do some work, but, in my experience, or maybe it's just my luck, I'm not sure which one, a lot of the mobs in Ice Cave are kind of like diving marsh. You have a lot of enemy variety in there. They have a lot of spells. They have a lot of scripts typically, and they all tend to roll nasty. So I'd probably shy away from doing the Ice Cave right away. I'd probably do what you were thinking, go over there and talk to Mickey, see what he's hiding today. He might have new. We can just go and get in the air right away. Aside from that, I might still check out like Matoya's. I still might check out Elfland as well, just to kind of get like feel of like the levels 2 through 4 magic, and just see what else is out there.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Dwight did. Dwight picks up the Adamant, so not really anything useful right now out of Piggy, but at least you can, see what's here. We could find a vendor item here. We could find better gear. We haven't seen level 2 magic, which all these guys have plenty of levels to do right now. And Dwight, realizing he has not equipped his chain armor, so probably figured that out during that pirate battle.
And whenever you see a healthy chain armor roll, like a good plus on it, or even when it's just vanilla, that's a great early game armor for the red mages.
Yeah, for sure. Especially the red. I feel like the red mages are the ones that benefit the most from an early chain armor, just because they can equip it, and it's 15 absorb. I mean, it's huge early game.
Absolutely, especially because that's kind of one of the values of taking the. So sidetrack. Fryteeth dove into ice and found the first floor of Earth.
Oh wow! So it's only one floor down, and you're already okay.
Yeah, we're not checking the grind tile up there, which makes me a little bit nervous when we're running black belt strats. But
Yeah, but he probably doesn't want to take a wipe. He probably just wants to. He knows he needs to find a loose canal. He's in a weird floor. If he wipes here, then he has to go, redive. And I think he's just trying to find that canal.
yeah, canal or canoe, one of the two.
Yeah.
What we were talking about though, it's one of the benefits of taking that red mage early is that chain armor. Like unless you happen to roll like really cheap silver bracelets, or maybe like copper bracelets roll up really high in Canaria, your chain armor is typically going to be like the best you can.
Yeah, so something we noticed here is actually Frykeith didn't check the earth tiles because he wanted to check the earth tiles where, well, you would normally.
Yeah, makes sense.
Left room there. You got red D's down there, and I saw Ice 3 at level 2, so you could potentially make something happen there, especially Dwight with his 3 black magic casters.
Yeah, especially if they happen to roll low. I believe he got 2 lit 3s out on him before Frykeith reset, but I think the second round of lit 3s didn't do a whole lot. Looks like we've got Waterfall hiding up there in Matoya's cave, so we're going to nope out of that until we have a Warper exit, I feel.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with that. I would test the water just to see if I could make it in and out, but yeah, you're probably right. Let's check level 3. Let's see if Warp and Exit is there so that you can go in and out pretty quickly there.
Yeah, I feel like that's what Mundungu's doing over here in the top left, and I like that play. Just we've already seen, he knows Ice is on the table. Well, at least Ice 1 is on the table. I don't think he's gone down and seen Earth 1 in there yet. But you know that you're going to be locked into a couple different entrances. Matoya's, Elfland Castle, Northwestern Marsh, as well as Canaria Castle. So you've got 5 things to check. Hey, you've already got a couple levels on your mages. Definitely check the level 3 and 4 magic and see what you can find. We got Dwarf Cave there and Elf Castle. That'll be a nice. Let's see what the adamant turns into here.
Well, that's good. Did Mundungu? Yeah, so Mundungu got the herb, or not the herb, the adamant. So it's gonna get the herb for that pickup. It's always good to see something like that on the first floor too. Like having to dive like a double split 14 floor dungeon to get to just to get the dwarf cave. It feels pretty bad, especially when you don't have warp or exit. We got heal 3, which is a big pickup for not only the white mage but the red mage there.
Yeah, nice, lucky. I believe that was slot 1 it landed in, if I was looking at it correctly. Let's see, level 4 magic. Hey, there's our exit. So white mages rejoice. You're useful.
Yeah, and that's going to be really unfortunate for Dwight because not only is he finding the floater pretty late here, he's not going to be able to use exit at any
level
point.
4 warp. At least it's offset a little.
Yeah, but exit still is only 1 cast versus if you end up, like I said, at the bottom of a 14 floor dungeon and it takes you to something like Elfland Castle that's required, and then you got to walk it out.
Yeah, I think the worst ones I've always seen was one side of a split is like, say, Dwarf Cave, which we've seen Dwarf Cave, so it's not going to be that tonight. But it's the classic thing. Like one half of the split says, okay, well here's one turn in. I give you the item. You go to the other side of the split, and there's your turn in over there. So, question in chat: what level is it? Exit and warp are both level 4.
Yeah, which means that at least the white mage and the black mage will have to be level 9 before they can use it. The red mage, I think, has to be level 10 to use it. So, I mean, you gotta get a couple of initial levels before you can start really diving some of the deeper dungeons here, knowing for sure that you can get out of here. And Frykeith is getting the business from mummies, getting really bad turn order, and unfortunately has to reset out of that battle.
Yeah, I've seen, I believe it was Mundungu and Frykeith, just kind of like testing the waters there in Waterfall. Just checking out what the encounters are, maybe seeing if they can be a little bit cheeky, get some, later game kills pretty quickly there, get some levels, but nothing in Waterfall seems really friendly.
Yeah. And right now, Lit3 is not going to do anything against these mud golems. He's going to go back in. But in March Cave, we find a Temple of Fiends. So at least now we know where the end of the game is going to be. It's at March Cave. We know we can get there. Know where it is. We can kill Garland. Once we find Canaria Castle, we'll have 2 pickups right there. So this is good. Even though it's not a great initial find, I think it's still pretty good to know exactly where Topher is.
Yeah, and I appreciate the irony of Topher being down in Marsh Cave. I just think that's funny tonight.
Yeah, so Mundungo's strategy is basically this let's explore, which I like this, because with Entrance Floor Shuffle, I feel like the more you know about the map, the better. The more you know where things are, the better, and figure out exactly where you need to go. And I think Mundungo has it figured out that Waterfall might be the play for him. But because he's been to Elfland Castle, he will have the warp, have the exit, and he will be able to get out of here. And there's the canoe, which I figured was going to be the robot pickup.
So this will be better for Mundungo once he goes back up there, because like you said, he will have the warp and exit. Fryeteeth unfortunately had to walk all the way back out from Waterfall, try and dodge some stuff, and he's got he's on the 2 light warriors at the moment. So we saw Kraken's lair over there in Northwest Castle, so that'll be a pretty easy fiend kill once we get some spells, get some levels, get some gear. We want to dive in that one.
Wow, and Fryeteeth here with some decent RNG right then and there, able to dodge these mummy attacks and gets away from the battle.
Ooh, wow. That was great.
Yeah, Mundungo finds Canaria Castle, like I mentioned earlier, up there in Dwarf Cave, and is able to get the rod, and what was that, the cube?
Yep, rod and cube from the King and the Princess.
So, in this particular version of the game, the rod and the cube may not be required, depending on where the fiends are located, and where the loot and key and all that stuff are located. Now, finding that's going to... Huh?
Oh, Fry got out. Sorry. I was cheering for Fry with that solo black mage running in the water.
Yeah, he... And you may notice that he didn't take very many encounters. The encounter rate has been turned down pretty dramatically because it is an shuffle and it is buckling stuff. We have it turned down to 0.4 and 0.5. So basically half the amount of encounters you would normally see.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where depending on, where the encounters fall within the encounter table, that'll really kind of dictate things. I think he had a number of encounters, like on the whole first half of the run into Waterfall up to the robot, and I think aside from that one pack of mummies, that was all he saw on the way out. So.
Foolish Feline making his way into Waterfall is going to get greeted with that canoe. And this is good news for Fryeteeth. Like, Fryeteeth took a big risk heading into Waterfall without exit and warp, and it's going to pay off in the short term here as he's able to make it to Elfland Castle, kind of, be able to do his floater turn in, get into the air pretty early, and has decent enough money to pick up whatever he needs Elfland before heading over towards the Raycon Desert.
Yeah, so Fryeteeth and Foolish is kind of... Surprised we didn't see Foolish just hang a right and go in the river system, since he already went into Elfland. I guess maybe he had a couple more spells he wanted to pick up. Maybe he's going back for warp in that level 4.
No, I think he realized he made a mistake.
There you go.
Back over that way.
So yeah, so he'll be in there in probably just another minute or so. I can pretty much imagine Fryeteeth won't be too far behind. And then Dwight and Mundungo just kind of, doing the circuit.
Yeah.
Doing their lap.
Yeah, so we know kind of wherever... We know what's in the Inner Sea so far. Like, we know that Topher's down in Marsh Cave. We know that Canaria Castle's up in Dwarf Cave. We know that Kraken is hanging out in Northwest Castle. We know the dwarves are in Elfland Castle. And we know up in Matoya's Cave... Actually, we don't know what's in Matoya's Cave. What was in Matoya's Cave again?
Matoya's Cave was Waterfall.
Waterfall, that's right. Thank you. And then we know that there is the Endless Ice Cave Floor 1 that is at Canaria Castle that none of these players have made it to the bottom of. So I'm interested to see if that ends up factor.
Yeah, I mean, and looking at it too, so I'm just sitting here thinking, I think there's been a number of us that have kind of delved in and done a lot of entrance floor shuffle. And I gotta say, like, the way these entrances have kind of lined up for our runners tonight with the spells, it's been really favorable for them. You found Kraken in one entrance, you found Temple of Fiends in another, you found Canaria Castle in another, you found Mermaids in another, you found Waterfall in another. I mean, there's like all but one or two of your entrances sitting there, like, just completely checked off the list for what you've got to dive early and hope to find something. So it kind of really nicely. I think the biggest challenge and I think where a lot of the skills going to come out for these runners is kind of dealing with that information overload and the paralysis by analysis approach. You're in the air at the 15-minute mark. Where do you go first? Like, you've got the entire world open. You've got the airship. You've got the canoe. Yeah, you found one loose, but you still got to get a lot of stuff going.
Yeah, and especially for like Foolish Feline and Fryeteeth who are in the air now and who got it, who are able to get the canoe and the floater earlier, they still have to check those particular areas, like the places that Mundungo's already checked. Your Northwest Castle and your Dwarf Cave and your March Cave and all those different places. So, like you said, that's information overload. Like, I feel like an early floater, while it's a blessing in one way, it can definitely be a curse in other ways, where you're just like, where do I go now?
Yeah, especially when it's a canoe that you get early with it as well.
And Foolish Feline is in somewhere. He's in Sky 1.
He dove volcano and found the C-split.
Yeah.
And he went to the right-hand side and sent him up to the...
Yeah, so there's one C. And if these runners have any of the luck that I have in this game, I'm assuming that the March split will also be somewhere in the C split.
You're a monster, Gray.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not wishing. I'm just saying if these guys have any of the luck that I have. Ooh, X-Cal 4.
That's a nice weapon.
Yeah, that's really good. And Foolish Feline and Fryeteeth really making good work. Oh, there's the March split.
Never mind. Scratch off that commentator, Kurt.
Yeah, so that's actually kind of good for both of these runners because they will probably see both of these splits here and get these two dungeons out of the way. And as annoying as something like the March and the C splits are, I actually like getting them out of the way early so that I don't ever have to see them again.
Yeah, and that's something I always worry about when I'm running these seeds. It's like, at this point, you're still kind of resource strapped. And when you start diving deep in a location, you want to try and clear it out as much as you can. And it's just one of the things in the back of your head. It's like, all right, you're level 7. You're 6 floors down. What are you going to do? Are you just going to hope it dead ends somewhere? Are you going to just try and run everything back out? So it's one of those... Yeah, it's a tough decision to make. It's really nice to have that warp and exit, but I don't think Fryeteeth has the levels to cast it yet.
No, and another thing I just thought about, we're seeing Matoya's cave over here, which must have been at the bottom of this ice cave thing. Yes, it was. So we know that Matoya's cave is at the bottom of Canaria Castle now. Ooh, chimeras. And chimeras are hitting hard. Yeah, they are. They are messing. They are giving poor Fryeteeth the business. And that's going to be a wipe for sure. Down on Foolish Feline side, this is actually a good spike tile for his party, because if he has Harm, which I'm pretty sure Harm was a lower level, be able to take these down pretty easily, but...
Yeah, Harm 4 was at level 2, but I think this is actually just a random encounter, because after his Sky 1, it sent him down to Mirage 2.
Yeah, it's really hard to kind of keep track of floor shuffle as a commentator, especially with 4 screens going on. You're trying to call the action from everybody, and like I look over, I'm like, oh, that's got to be. Oh no, it's not.
Yeah,
just
no, it's tough enough when you're doing it on your own, let alone when you have 4 people in front of you. So it's like Mundungu and Dwight making their way into Montoya's, which is secretly a waterfall today. So they'll get their canoe here in just a minute. I'm pretty sure they both picked up spells in Elfland, so they'll at least have, the exit and warp to get out of here in one.
Yeah. The one thing I will say, with the floater being where it was loose early, and then we know we don't need the canal, there's only one loose item left. And at this point, we could potentially not need, depending on where all the locations land. So if I was Fryeteeth, I would maybe start considering some gamble to try to get some levels and maybe skip some boxes. I don't know, just get some stuff moving for him, because he has really kind of not benefited from the early floater because he's still level 5.
Yeah, and that's something that you've got to kind of worry about, especially if you're running like that black belt main DPS strat. We've already seen Earth 1. We know the red Ds are on the Earth Fiend tile. We haven't checked either of the ones in Hall of Giants. Keep going. Go check. So if you happen to...
cube because...
Well, he doesn't have the cube, but he can at least check that spike tile, because it was pretty easy to get to.
And he's gonna
So
have to.
he's got to get levels here going because I think everyone else is at least level 10 by now on their.
Oh, especially with this party, you're right. He needs to get levels quickly. He needs to find a way to get some levels there. And got a Titan spear down and started. This is one of our incentive locations as well. But obviously, you need the ruby in order to check that incentive box.
Yeah, and since we've already found, oh well, look at that. Since we've already found the floater and the airship, Titans is really off the table, and then when it just connects to the Earth Cave, the SARTA entrances, it's really off the table. You really don't need it.
At least Fryteeth now is able to get all these checks done much quicker than Dwight and Mungo. Like, he already knows kind of where everything is on this southern continent here, as he's going to find Topher dead last. He's going to circle around the hole real quick and then finally go.
And while we're sitting there talking about what's going on, we had simultaneous canoe pickups for Mundungu and Dwight, so I'm sure they'll both be going down and grabbing their airship in just a moment here as well. So all runners will be in there probably before, I'd say, the 24-minute mark, depending on the counters they take and which route they go. So that's a really good first half of the seed of this.
No, I agree with you there. That's huge for these runners and just for entrance floor shuffle in general, just to kind of get through the game. The only thing that's kind of concerning me right now, at least in this early game, is we've seen pretty much all of the southern continent. We haven't seen like really a big dungeon. We've seen the splits and we haven't seen where they've gone. So the big dungeon could potentially be there in Volcano and Ice, but with a lot of things being surface level, man, I would be scared to find like one of those 15 or 16 floor dungeons that leads to March 3 or March Top or something.
Yeah, it's definitely going to have to be a concern, something to keep their eyes open for. I think the only thing really going for them is if we do find one of those deep dungeons, at least we do have exit and warp early, so we can at least board our dive and get out and save and re-dive and at least keep gear and levels and everything we've earned on the way there.
Ooh, this is a good floor for Fryteeth. Fryteeth went into Cardia Woods and got I3, which you can get some decent levels here depending on where that first encounter off the hard reset that is located.
Yeah, and I think he's just worried about taking encounters because he's low level, but on the flip side, if you don't take encounters, you're not going to get levels. So it's one of those things where I think we saw a couple encounters early off the hard reset. So definitely, like you're saying, like hit that hard reset, go in there, check and see what the encounters are as you're checking these boxes. If there's nothing good in there, reset. You're not really losing anything. If there is something good in the chest or you find a really good, encounter, you can get some levels. You need them.
Fryteeth totally left sorcerers on the table here in cube locked room. Foolish felines there because they have. Never mind.
I was gonna say, wait, maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah, that's not good. But he's got to go through that in order to see what's past the cube lock. So it's like it's one of those necessary evils. But if you get good turn order and you can get a nice 3 or let 3 off, you should be able to get the sorcerers down pretty easily. And Mundungu is going to be our first runner to really dive down into one of these splits here and hopefully make his way through this area. And of course, Sap comes out first. Bill's foolish feline. He says no.
He's like, I don't care enough. I'll come back later.
Yeah.
Because they were unrunnable, and I think that was the first spell they had. So if you get a 6-pack of them, your odds are that they're going to go first, unfortunately.
Yeah, Burt pointing out, Zap might be worse than Trance, because Trance is their vanilla skill that they like to throw out on top of what death touch that they have.
Yep, sounds right.
I see double fighters over on Fryteeth. Oh, that's just on that floor. Dang it. I was hoping that was a good grind for him.
I mean, at least he got out with a couple levels on the red and white mage, so, they're a little bit beefier now. They can take a hit or two. More spell charges. Hopefully we can carry them.
Ooh, Melman has at least life 2, and not only a white mage slot, but a red wizard learnable slot 2 there.
I mean, we're loaded for life all across the board today then, so.
Yeah, I mean, with life being level 1, and then of course life 2 being level 5, especially for those red wizards that Dwight will eventually He's got to be pretty happy. But
yeah, the only thing the Red Wizards aren't happy about seeing so far is we don't have any like the really high-powered spells you hope they get when you roll a seed. We haven't seen Nuke yet, and we've seen spells 1 through 6. Haven't seen Fade yet either, so we know they're going to be 7 or 8, and they might be out of the Red Mage's reach.
Yeah. And Fryteeth finding, of course, at the bottom of the dungeon he's currently in, we've got Mark 3, which I am actually surprised he's clearing this. He doesn't have a key, and there's only 5 boxes you can get to in this room.
Yeah, I think it's 5 or 6.
Yeah. Which, granted, there still is one loose item out there, so whatever he needs could potentially be down here, the key or the floater. And Burt Reynolds is helping us out here with the math. There are 6 boxes here.
And speaking of 6, we actually did see Fade, our fabulous tracker Danny, keeping us straight. Fade was in the 6th level in the 2nd slot.
So Red Wizard learnable as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so we'll at least have some kind of high-powered spell later on. Yeah, I don't hate the dive by Fryteeth because, it's not like there's a ton of boxes. But he at least had that spike battle check. Granted, it was mummies and cockatrices, so it's not like you're going to do a whole lot with it, but at least we're still checking those tiles and trying to see what we can get away with.
And Mundungo takes a wipe out of this volcano, out of this right side split here. And it looks like Dwight's also in the same area that Fryteeth was. There's a lot going on.
Mundungo found those bad men and they were being bad.
Yeah, they were giving him a hard time there. And I could have sworn somebody was on the March split, but I guess they must have also gotten knocked out of there as well. Or is that Foolish Feline?
I believe that's where Foolish is at, so I think the top Marsh took him to Mirage 1. And now we're top Marsh.
And of course Marsh top. So at least these two... Ooh, Mage... That's pretty... recasting the prior 2 never makes me upset.
I'm also seeing a defense sword down there on Foolish Feline's side, and I didn't recall where he picked that up at.
So you'll notice right now that some of the ducklings have been checking the dead end spots, and dead ends are not shuffled into the entrance floor shuffle thing. So if you know where the Cardia empties are, you actually don't have to check those.
Yeah, it all depends on one of those flags or one of the checkboxes for the flag string. So if you're looking at the randomizer site underneath the maps and routing tab, directly under the checkbox for entrances, it says include dead ends. So if that's unchecked, you never have to step foot into a Cardia Tiny or the double top, because it'll always be the dead end. And Katana -5, so no thieves and no one to use it. Hey, look, there's the canal.
Oh, well, good thing we picked that up there. Mundungo, after diving all the way at the bottom of this volcano, gets rewarded with a loose canal that he does not need. Sees the March split and is like, seriously, game? It doesn't even want to have anything to do with that.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. At least it's out of the way. So it does kind of narrow things down, though. It's nice to see it. Maybe there's no reason to, but maybe you want to go sailing after you save the world from chaos and come back into the future when there's no enemies around. Just take your leisure cruise out the canal, go take a circle tour. All the fun.
White finds the bottle. We know where Gaia is because Gaia is vanilla. It's down in Stardust Cave, and Stardust Cave is at the bottom of... We'll find out soon. The bottom of Cardia Swamp there.
And watching Dwight get out of that dungeon, too, it just really kind of shows you the time-saving power of exit. Like, we were 4 floors deep. We had to burn 4 warp charges to get out. And that's menu, warp. Okay, land. Okay, back in the menu, warp. Land. Okay, let's do it again.
And he's found armory here, and over on Foolish Feline's side, back in Earth 4, which I remember seeing that earlier on one person's screen. And there's just a lot going on right now.
Yeah, there's just action all over the place. We've got the Whizvamp Vampire pack, we've got the Red Giant Agama pack, we've got Man Cats, we've got boxes, we've got all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, we're trying our best here. And that's actually a good spot. You need to go up and down, though. Up and down, you got harm 4, you got so many harm 4s.
So not only is the Whiz Vamp, pack a good one to go on that red giant Agma is the first trap tile there on the armory floor. So that's going to be a really nice find too, because they seem pretty low health across the board.
Yeah, unfortunately, had to reset out of that because those vampires had hold, and they were landing. Hold has a pretty good accuracy. It's like around the same accuracy as Black. So yeah, you got to have quite a bit of MDef and or a ribbon in order to avoid that hold spell, which paralyzes you. And when Dungo finds the bottom of Marsh Cave, which I'm reason I'm happy to see.
Yeah, I can't blame him there, because we at least know there's nothing down here, but it's unfortunate when you find something like bottom of Marsh when, you still have one loose on the table and you don't have the key, because, you leave, you come back, maybe half an hour later with the key, think, okay, maybe the required loose item is down here, and you've already been in here, cleared it once, and you just really hate double dipping dungeons, so it's unfortunate to see when you don't have the key, but, odds are we probably won't have progression down here tonight.
Yeah. I have to say, though, like, Foolish Feline, I'm looking at, because he's got the white mage, because he got the floater kind of late and had more levels, he's able to clear this marsh split. Oh, we've got our first look at Carrie's floor, which is incentivized.
That'll be a nice find.
Oh, and the fighter tile is on the Agma tile, which is huge, because if you happen to find, of course, the Agma room, then you can grind fighters for free.
Yeah, the biggest question is going to be if they're evasive, if they have, it looks like they probably have like around 210 HP, so not a huge pool, but if Fry Teeth happens to find that floor and he can get some good kills going, that's what his Black Belt's going to need at this point.
And over on Dwight's side, we found the second loose item, which is Slab. Slab is in Volcano Armory. So that's both loose items, and the tail is here, which is most certainly required at least for 3 of our 4 players here.
Yep. And now that we too, at least how now Dwight knows that where both of the loose items are. This is going to be kind of something we talked about, weeks ago during the boot camp. It's learning to get by with not a lot. Because this is going to be the big question that Dwight's going to have to answer now is how much more do I open box-wise? I don't know if he's been over into the floor that has Sky 1 yet to see that X-Cal +4. If he has, great. As soon as he finds his hail, at least his fighter will be immensely useful. But aside from that, I think gold bracelet for -1, pro rings rolled neutral. So it's going to be a big question of, what's your comfort level and when do you hit the gas and go and just stop checking boxes because you've already found all your loose.
So speaking of Fry Teeth is actually on that Agama floor that I mentioned earlier. So if he checks his spike tiles, he can take down some fighters. He might be in a good shape to get that Black Belt to do something. Like what you were saying with Dwight, at this point, I hate to say like if I was one of these racers, but in Dwight's head, he's got to be thinking to himself, I need to check chest dense areas like a Sky, a Sky 1, a Sky 3, Agama floor, Armory, which he's already seen. I don't imagine him really clearing very many of these kind of bigger floors with few chests, like, an Earth 3 or a Earth 2 or something like that.
Yeah, I think the biggest question he's going to have to answer for himself is, as I scroll back up real quick to our wonderful tracker Danny's cheat sheet, we haven't seen Invis 2. We haven't seen the white shirt. I haven't had a chance to check Dwight's weapon menu yet, so I'm not sure if he's even found the defense sword. But we're missing a lot of defenses. Like, I don't know if any of our runners have found a ribbon quite yet either.
Dry Teeth found a ribbon and a white shirt, and I think it was in that Rodlocked room, the vampire room. But of course, I don't know for sure. I wasn't looking at his screen until I happened to see him menu through to equip the ribbon, and then noticed he had the white shirt as well. It may be on that floor, it may be somewhere leading to. And of course, his black belt takes a monstrous hit from these red D's or these red giants. Luckily, still has some life in him and his levels though.
Running low on charges though, I think. Not sure what his res mage has, but I think his white mage is down just to the 1 life chart.
Yeah, but I'm more concerned about his levels over anything. He's only level 8. Like we are 35 minutes into the game. He, even if he can take some fighters down, like if they ambush like what just happened there, it'd be bad. Like, he won't be able to take this very much.
Yeah, I think at this point, you know the fighters are here. You've got to try and clear at least one of these fights, and I was going to say hopefully with everybody alive. But you've got to take one of these fights. I feel like you have to exit out on that white mage, save those charges, use a house, and get right back down here and just go at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, able to get through the battle, able to get some levels on his mages, but that's not where you want the levels when you're running a black belt. You want levels on your black belt.
Something else we can do here too. So this is going to be something that just kind of comes with experience. But your black belt's level 8, your red mage and your white mage are levels 14 and 16 respectively. Throw one of them in the front. Let them take a shot. You know, maybe try and mitigate the chance of a black belt being targeted down and knocked out in one.
I'm actually shocked he didn't take that battle. And like what you said, like move some people around. You know, put somebody that can take a hit in that position. But as we could probably tell from looking at Fryteeth's screen, like he's still relatively new to the game. He's still looking in rooms that don't have chests and stuff. And wow, he found Bahamut's cave.
Yeah, good find for I'd say everybody but Fryteeth. I mean, I'd be surprised if he goes and does a class change at least before getting his black belt going.
Absolutely not.
I mean, if you're going to take a black belt, you know what kind of goes into it. You know you've got to do some grinding, get some levels on him before you promote.
But especially at this point, like once you find Bahamut's cave, you're not diving like 5 floors down to class change with a black belt in your lead spot.
And this is fixing to be a fighter seat. Honestly, we've seen the Excal +4, we've seen the Aegis Shield +5. Everything seed-wise or gear-wise is just screaming, hey, you wish you had a fighter to swing and use all this.
And the only thing I would say for sure is depending on what the slab leads to, we'll determine whether this is a fighter seat or not. Because if the slab is like useless,
I was going to say, I think we already saw Dwight turn in the slab and we got the bonk -2 from it.
That's what I was going to say. If it was something like that, like the bonk minus, like the bonk or I don't know, anything else that may not be required in the seed, then Fryteeth is in good shape to actually just not really open very many boxes and try to get some levels on that black belt.
Yeah, he got a first strike on this battle, so I'm glad he went and took it because this will get him some well-needed XP for that black.
Yeah, I'm shocked he's using Lit 3 when he has Ice 3 at level 2. But, I mean, do what you gotta do. Old Miss there accidentally throws out a Lit 3, or actually attacks with Black Mage instead of using spell there.
So vampires have trance as felines. So vampires are just not fun tonight. Like first they trance you, then they hold.
Yeah, they hold you, then they trance you or whatever. And over on Mundungo's side, you notice that the Wissahags and Arsahags, were they runnable? Did I see that correctly?
I believe they were, yeah.
Yeah, we got to thank our devs here. They finally found a way to separate the A and B, I guess, side encounters or whatever, to where Arsahag and Red Sahag battles aren't always unrunnable.
Yeah, and that's really nice to see because for some reason, at least between the Wissahags and Red Sahags, they always have something nasty. Not quite as nasty as our vampires tonight, as we're foolish is still trying to get away from this dance party. But they always have something nasty, so it's like one of those sloggy things in the randomizer. It's you find Sea Shrine and you're thinking, great, this is fun, I can get through this, and then you take 7 encounters on one floor, and they're all the Wisahag Red Sahags. It's just like, okay, there go all my spell charges, there go all my sweepers. I don't have anything left at this point.
Yeah. So Mundungo is gonna more than likely find that white shirt and ribbon that I know Fryteeth found earlier when he was diving into this particular dungeon.
I believe the white shirt's in the bottom left room of the floor that Foolish Feline is in now.
Okay.
And looks like Dwight not checking Mirage 1.
Yeah.
Maybe he is. Oh, there you go. So he saw the other floor was the top of Marsh and decided I'll go check more chests.
Yeah, I probably just wanted to, because it's only like a few steps to get to the next room, wanted to see what was there first before they kind of moving on. Now, aside from White and Fry Teeth, who's about to check this, has anybody else found that loose slab?
I don't believe so. I mean, looking at the tracker, they don't have it lit up. Hey, there's a ribbon +4 in that Earth box.
Yeah, that must have been the box that Fry Teeth found the ribbon in earlier. I was like, oh, he's got a ribbon.
Yeah. So, I mean, Fry Teeth in good spot, at least because he's found all the loose now. It's just got to get levels and got to get going at this point.
Yeah, but Fry Teeth, I think, is going to find, that fighter tile or be able to at least get some levels here.
We found the fighter tile, and after getting through the dungeon, he left and sailed away, because I believe that was in the Cardia Double Island on the bottom entrance.
That's right.
But Foolish is trying to desperately get off of the Sea Shrine floor. Like, he got that white shirt, and between the Dance Dance Wizard Amp party and these ghosts that just want to keep going after him, he just can't get out of anything here.
Yeah, Fry Teeth getting the Oxio from the kindly old king here in Northwest Castle. So at least we know that crown that they picked up earlier, leads to something. Now, whether the Oxio or that what they like to call the dungeon location, whether that actually leads to anything, we'll have to find out here.
Yep. So I wanted to point out there, Dwight, he went and took on that cube trap tile with all the sorcerers with Zap, and he went first.
Yeah.
And he never stopped.
Yeah, and he's in Ice Cave right now, so this could potentially be something huge. If this is like the loot or the key, then he is got a massive lead right now. But we'll find out here once he does this warp trip.
Hey, there's the loot. All we need is the key.
Yeah, and because he has those loose items, he's going to warp out of here. He does not need to find out what else is happening in Ice Cave.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame him. I mean, I'm hoping he's found the ribbon by now. I'm pretty sure he has. It just goes back to what we were saying. It's that comfort level. It's when do you hit the gas and go? When do you keep opting to open boxes? I mean, bottom of Ice Cave isn't a terrible place to go. I mean, you've got a couple trap tiles you can check. I don't really think he needs levels. I think he's more worried about finding the tail at this moment because he's getting up there on his fighter, and you want to make sure you get all your charges at a reasonable level. So he's not really inclined, I don't think, to take fights at this moment. But you've got 6 in one room, you've got 2 in another, you've got another 5 on the next floor that are all pretty close together. So it's not a terrible place to go, but it's just been hard. I can't tell you if he's seen like Sky 1, Sky 3, all the super dense ones quite yet either. So
yeah, I mean, for Dwight, he really needs to go to where Carrie is and get that tail, and then of course do the class change wherever. We obviously haven't seen Comet yet, right?
No, we did see Bahamut, I believe. Fry Teeth stumbled upon him.
I'm looking at the tracking notes now to try to. I vaguely remember seeing it, but
yeah, and I believe Fry Teeth saw it because we made the comment about how he would, he's the
he
only runner who doesn't really care to see Bahamut at this moment.
Yeah, right, I do remember that.
But I mean, everyone's kind of like in the same general part of the world. Like, I believe Fry Teeth is back in Cardia Double Bottom. I think Mundungu just flew over it, and he's checking out Cardia Grassy. You've got Dwight running desperately towards the Rodlock to see what's behind the Vampire's floor.
Yeah. I'm interested to know how the other mini off-stream runners are doing right now. I think, what do we have? 23 runners? Somewhere in that general area. There's a lot of ducklings doing the Duckling Derby right now, which is what is happening right now. Guys, we are on Speed Gaming 3. We are doing the Duckling Derby. This is track number 3. Regardless of what the layout says, we are actually on track number 3, which is Gaia Mountain. Right now, pretty much all the runners that you see on screen here are in the top 10.
Yeah, I'd say pretty close. I mean, it's really hard to give you an exact top number just because of how many points you can get from placing closer to first. But I mean, all our runners from a point perspective, everyone's got over 40 at this point, and I think our highest person's sitting at 60. So it's anybody's series or league or derby at this point. Between tonight's race and the grand circuit tomorrow. So
Yeah, so tomorrow night on a Speed Gaming channel and on a Randomizer channel will be the last race, track number 4, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, and we will crown a Duckling Supreme at that particular time. But if you look over at Fryteeth's screen in Waterfall, we have found Tiamat. We have found our second fiend here, and I'm not sure he's in any business to take on Tiamat with particular levels he has and spells, but he's going to go for it. So let's see what happens here as he gets some evade going.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's give it a shot. Maybe hope Tia rolled really low, but yeah, I don't know. I think we're missing some vital either spells or abilities to get through this fight.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that it's a double-edged sword when you have the particular scaling that we have, because right now our scaling is 67 to 150. So the double-edged sword part of it is, well, the fiends can't roll like super high and ridiculously beefy, but the problem is the fiends can't roll super low and like eat kill. And what is happening on Mundungo's side? His fighter is like, what is going on there?
I mean, he's clearing house over there.
Yeah, he's getting through that area.
He's found as well, so
yeah. Ooh, our Hydras. There they are, the dealers of the crack. I can't believe all those people survived. Crazy.
Yeah, it's some really good luck there.
Yeah, I think he's only got one ribbon, so all those people survived. That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, Fryteeth is making this work over there. Chipping and chunking away over there at Tiamat with the lit 3 and the ice 3, and definitely getting some use out of that white shirt.
Yeah, sure. I mean, getting that evade up is going to be nice, and if you can just chip damage Tia down, then you're good to go. What did Mundungo see that made him get out of there?
He swung at Tia, hit him for 4 hits, 4 damage with his obscenely leveled fighter, and said, "Nope, I'm coming back later."
Wow, okay. Tiamat's going to roll between 670 HP and 1500 HP, so, I mean, hopefully with all the lit 3s and ice 3s, they can just kind of chip away at Tia.
Yeah, and if all Tia's doing is punching over there at Fryteeth's side, I mean, that white shirt's, I think we've got all our casts off of it. The white mage does have that Thor hammer, so we've got guaranteed damage every round. It's not, triple digits, but it's something. And, we still have our mages casting ice 3s, so if all Tia's going to do is punch, I mean, all it takes is time. We'll probably get him down.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going for it, and I kind of like it. Like you said, I mean, may as well just try to take down the Fiend of Air. There's no harm in it, and with all the white shirts up there right now, he's got a better chance than anybody else to get through this battle.
Yeah, so here we go. First Fiend kill, Fryteeth at the 48, we'll call it 40-second mark for that orb getting lit.
Yeah, and you hate to see it on Fryteeth's side, because if you see the level disparity between his mages and his black belt, it's not good. His black belt's only level 11, and I think his mages are like in the high teens, like 17 and 18.
Mm-hmm.
And Dwight's in Ordeals, which is another one of our incentive locations. We haven't seen the key yet. So could this be the key?
I don't think we've seen the Masamune either yet. So I don't think we haven't seen the TNT or the crystals. So we still got a number of items out there somewhere on the board. I don't know where the heck they're all hiding it.
Yeah, and we haven't seen Elfland Castle either, have we?
No, we haven't seen Elfland Castle.
Yeah, so we got a lot still going on. With Entrance Floor Shuffle, like I said earlier, the only thing that is guaranteed is that you need to loot the key and you need to kill all 4 fiends. Now, whether the 4 fiends are going to be hidden behind certain key items like the chime or the cube or the rod or the oxtail, you won't know until you start checking location.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think we've seen the cube early. I don't think it really led to anything significant. We had the rod. I think that led to the slab eventually being down there in Armory. I believe that's where that led to. So not quite directly required as far as fiends go, but maybe indirect.
So I'm looking at the tracker right now. If I'm reading it correctly, it looks like Mundungo and Dwight are the only two that have the slab, correct? Are they the only two that have found the slab?
Yeah, I believe that's right.
So Foolish Feline still needs to find that second loose item. We know the second loose item isn't required because it leads to the power bonk -2. But it looks like Foolish Feline is going to eventually find that slab because he's heading in the general location.
Yeah, and like you said, it may not be required because of what it leads to, but on the other hand, the sooner you can find that second loose, the sooner you can stop checking boxes.
And Mundungo getting great turn. Oh, I was gonna say great turn order, but bad rolls on the lit breeze as Zap does eventually come out of that last sorcerer, but luckily able to knock him down and is gonna be rewarded with Ice Cave, and we know that it is the loot down here.
Picking up the crystal. And the next thing I know, he's back on the same floor. So I'm wondering, like, if I just had a moment of deja vu and just missed what he went back for.
So Dwight, you said picked up the crystal out of Ordeals.
Mm-hmm.
And Foolish Feline going to pick up his Octale. I know I feel like I asked tons of questions during this thing, but has anybody been to Onrak with the Octale to see what is in that dungeon there?
I don't believe we've seen either of our runners hop into Onrak yet.
Yeah. So
I say either as there's only two. I meant either in the sense that there's four of them.
And Mundungo gets the loot, gets out of town, doesn't need the rest of those boxes. Come on, is Dwight gonna dive this dungeon? This very first dungeon that we ever saw in the game here at Canaria Castle. Whitey has the ruby.
Yeah, and I believe Dwight checked this. I just can't recall what it led to down here.
I'm gonna have to look at my tracking, where we even got the ruby from. Time. It was the vendor item out of Gaia, and then obviously we got the chime out of here.
Yeah, so the Ordeals was at the chime location, so at least depending on what Matoya gives, which we'll find out from Dwight in just a moment, may have been required, may not be.
Got it.
The -2. So not really required, especially if you promote and have that have stumbled across the Xcal +4, but
yeah, but Massa, even a -2 Massa, I would be pretty excited to see that, especially if I was Frighty. That's going to be good for his black belt to actually start doing things, damage outside of just punching stuff until he can get to his mid-20s or whatever. Might not be great for the rest of the people just because that Xcal 4 was out there. And at this point, I think where does the Xcal 4 lie in relation to the Massa -2?
I'd have to pull up one of her many lovingly crafted data sheets that honestly our ducks have really come through and made exceptional for us. I don't know off the top of my head, but just thinking about it, so the +4, that's going to give us, we're on beta, so I believe that's 8 more damage or hit, and I believe I don't think they've changed it yet, so I think that's still just 4 more crit. So I think that kind of really helps out. And the biggest thing there is the damage. So if you take away 4 damage or 4 damage off that, it closes the gap.
I think the big thing is the crit chance. I think the Massa still might have a better crit chance than the Xcal, even with those modifiers. But the Xcal is going to out damage it, if that makes any sense. It's going to have a higher damage modifier because it's a +4 versus the -2. But we'll find out which one of these runners decide to use. Mundungo is going to pick up that Xcal +4 here right now, and man, Mundungo's that's some good menuing right there. flying through that.
I can appreciate that.
Run into these okay men here, and they're not going to give him the business quite like they gave somebody else the business way earlier in the seed. A little bit more prepared for him, I think.
So, using one of our guides that was recently posted into our channel, Excal plus 4. Still, Excal plus 4 is essentially stat-wise equivalent to the Masa minus 4. So the Masa minus 2 still has it by a couple points, but it's not a huge gap.
So Masa's still going to be better just because anybody can equip it. And, we knew the Masa was incentivized. We knew it was going to be out there somewhere. I'm looking over at Foolish Feline's gear, finding another ribbon here in the less than greater than room, which is huge. White's going to get his tail finally, which he's going to be the first person outside of, I think, Fryteeth to see the tail.
I think Foolish was the only other one to see the tail so far.
And looks like we're going to get a couple of fiend battles here. Not a couple, but probably a trio of fiend battles. Is we've got Lich on Mundungo's side. We've got Foolish Feline also taking on Lich 1. And shortly, Dwight, I'm assuming, is going to take on Carrie because he has the levels to actually deal with Carrie.
Yeah, so this will be exciting here in just a second. Just going to see what Lich has, if anything. Punches for 32, has a fire 2. It's kind of like vanilla Lich all over it.
Yeah. And blink and you miss it, Mundungu and Foolish Feline both take out Lich, and that was in the volcano location. Wow. He never, as many people as I dove into that location, these are the first people to actually make it all the way down there and take on Lich 1.
Yeah, I think it's just because we had the C-split there in Volcano. People were kind of scared off from it early on.
Yeah. And over on Dwight's side, we've got the carry battle happening. Just doing some fast, some chip damage, more chip damage. Doesn't really have a lot outside of the fat in order to really do damage against this carry, aside from, of course, that fighter there.
Yeah, I mean, just hope for crits. I mean, that red mage hit 6 for 60, so...
Poison comes up, that's not good.
Back to the black mage, hanging on with 1 health. Oh, down goes Carrie.
Yeah. Gotta like it that Pika there survived with that 1 HP. But everybody has an orb lit. Fryteeth with the air orb. White with the fire orb. Mundungu and Foolish Feline with the earth orbs lit. Guys, Final Fantasy Randomizer time. Duckling Derby. This is a showcase of all of our kind of newer runners here. Most of these runners have only been in the community for about 2 or 3 months total. There's a couple of more, I can't say veteran because they're, I've been around that long, but they've been around over the 6-month mark.
They've gotten rid of their feathers. They've molted once or twice.
Yeah. They're still kind of trying to trudge Duckling Derby here. Yeah, we've got 23 runners. We have the 4 runners you see here. We've got 4 more runners on Randomania 3. And then we've got another math it up runners
15.
off stream doing Duckling Derby things. This is race 3.
It is race.
It is race 3. And Dwight, it looks like Dwight has already found Lich, so he's going to light up his second orb here. And if he can make it over to Waterfall where Tia is, he'll have his third orb lit. I haven't seen the key yet, though.
Yeah,
the key.
Yeah, it looks like we haven't seen the TNT either, so I'm guessing he's going to lead there. So I'm guessing at this point probably Elfland Castle is probably going to be buried in the Sea Shrine location. Not Sea Shrine, but the submarine location in Onrak. And that'll give us the TNT, and I expect that'll lead us to the key.
Has anybody walked over to Ordeal? Actually, speaking of, Fryteeth is over in Ordeals, and there it is. Elfland Castle. I was going to say, I don't think anybody's been to Ordeals yet. And is it the key? Survey says it's the TNT.
Oh,
Probably what you said it would be. And our awesome tracker, Danny, helping us out here, letting us know that actually it led to a cardia. doing a much better job of track of what's happening in this race than we are.
I mean, we'd be nothing without Danny. I mean, she's been kind of like indispensable throughout really almost every single race ever since she's joined the community, you know, always offering to help track everything, keep us commentators straight, and she's continuing to do this and helping make sure our ducklings get the, the spotlight they deserve in their races. So thank you so much for all that, Danny, and all you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And I have to say, Dwight picking up this canal at the just a little over an hour mark, I'm sure that feels pretty good to get that pick up there. We know at this point the TNT's got to lead to the key. Is that what we're looking at right now?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I've seen. I mean, looking at the flag, you know, we've seen the Masa, we've seen the Opal, we've seen the Power Bonk, we've seen Hail and Canoe, and everything else is lit up over there with the exception of that key, so...
Yeah, so that's a lot going on to try to get to that key. And Bright Teeth with the key, but doesn't have the loot, so not quite in go mode. And we know where all the fiends are. We know that Tiamat is in Waterfall. We know that Kraken is in Northwest Castle. Lich is in Volcano. And we know that Carrie is also in Volcano, or is she in Ice Cave?
I believe Carrie was over in Ice Cave.
Yeah, so we can get to all the fiends. The key, we've got the loot, we're good to go, at least on our end. Now these runners need to put all the pieces together, of course.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of trying to keep everything straight. Like I see Dwight kind of flying around checking entrances. I think he's trying to figure out where the heck Northwest Castle was, because I believe Crown is what led over to the Oxyale. Thinking maybe he thinks he's got to go down there and grab that. I mean, it's just, at this point, you're an hour in, you're kind of getting like information overload is setting in, and you're kind of like starting to second guess, like, okay, where do I got to go? Where do I got to be? Okay, where did I see this guy at? I might have forgotten to write it down quickly. It's a lot to keep track of with these seeds. So yeah, so we got let's see, Fry Teeth flying around. He's gonna go check over to the Titan's East entrance. Looks like Foolish Felon actually dove down to the bottom half of Ice Cave here. I missed that bottom left room. I was watching Fry Teeth do some navigation. Looks like we only got a couple boxes left here. I don't know if he's necessarily plucked anything great out of here yet. Mundungu doing the walk over to turn Matoya's crystal in for her magical Masamune -2. And Dwight, I think he's coming up on what he was looking for. I think he was looking for Bahamut, as Canuck is pointing out in chat. Alright, yeah, and Danny, our tracker, letting us know we were correct. So yeah, Carrie was in ice, you know, Carrie's hiding down there in the marsh bottom.
Right now, obviously, these runners are just trying to put all the pieces together, get all, to all the right locations. As of right now, like, what do we need? We need Ice Cave, which is the loot. We need to go to Ordeals with our herb that we found way earlier in the game that leads to the TNT, which leads to the key, correct? And then we need to just kill those fiends, which are in those particular locations that we've found. So it's kind of funny how entrance 4 rolls, because now that we've put the pieces together, at least on our end, we know where they need to go, and it's really not a lot to do.
Yeah, it's just like you were saying. It's just trying to piece everything together, and like we were mentioning a few minutes ago, just making sure that you've got good notes and you know where to go back to find your progression, find your items, and find your fiend.
And Fry Teeth, our first person in go mode, I think, right? So nobody else has found the key and the loot combined, because Fry Teeth just came out of Ice Cave with the loot. And if he had any way to get some levels on that black belt, if he could go grind those fighters, he would be in like insane shape to like finish this seed out in the next like 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing going for him at this point, like you said, aside from the fact that he's pretty much in go mode, with the exception of the fiend kills and the levels, he does have a lot of key items, and each of those key items gives our runners 5% more XP. So at least when he does his grind now, unless he decides just to do a walking grind, at least we'll be getting more EXP for it. It's just a matter of, this is time. You've got to get your train going. You've got to get that chugga chugga choo choo black belt punch going. You need to get going with it.
Yeah, and shockingly, he's like looking for stuff. Again, if you're running black belt, you've seen the fighter tile, you've seen some other pretty decent tiles that you can make work with a black belt. Like you find loot and key, and you know where all the fiends are. You've already killed Tiamat. I don't know if he's seen Lich or Carrie, which I don't think he has. He's definitely seen Carrie because he obviously got the tail way earlier. But I don't think he's seen Lich. That's the only one he hasn't seen.
Yes, I mean, you know where they're at. I think from everything I've noticed, at least, I believe with this way our spells have landed tonight, I think this is kind of going to be one of those things where it tests our runner's ability to maybe punt down some high-level fiends. Like, we've had Bracken slot 3, but he got to promote to get that.
Righty! Beautiful. He remembered that Carrie was here. And if the Agama, this was probably a better spot to find this particular tile. Even though it's not a free grind tile, it's safer. I wouldn't say it's safer, but it's better to grind here because you can grind and then just go kill Carrie right away and get out of this place versus trying to grind wherever the Agama floor actually was. Maybe that was the plan.
I think we're checking boxes still.
I was getting so excited.
I mean, we still got to walk past this tile another time.
It is true. But he doesn't need the tail.
The only thing I'm thinking of, so this is the thought I was kind of stuck on before we got excited about the fighters. We haven't seen Bane anywhere, and Brack was promotion locked at level 5 for our Black Mages. So I'm curious to see if maybe some of our runners have been avoiding going to like Kraken and Tia until they have a way to like insta-kill.
Yeah, we blink and you miss it, and Bulge Feline has levels. Not only levels, but has already taken Tiamat 1 down and got a gigantic hit on Tiamat. It was like 1,100 damage that Joel did there on Tiamat, and he's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, that was a good swing too, because the last time we saw a melee strike on Tia, it was 4 for 4.
Bad. And it looks like Foolish Feline is taking the spider tile again, which is good. He's got the massa on that black belt. If he could just put the black belt in the bottom row, just start plucking away at some levels. He really needs levels. He's the only person on screen right now that has pretty much all the pieces put together, like finish this game out, and just needs the levels on that black belt.
Yeah, it looks like Feline's kind of right there too. He's making his way over to our deals, which we know is going to be the Elf Prince, so we'll get our TNT. So he's only one step removed from that key.
Yeah.
Fryteeth working on a second fiend over here within the carry fight. Moved his black belt to the back slot. I like it.
Yeah, and Mundungo, blink and you miss it, does pick up his key. Hadn't made it past the cube lock yet, which we know is where Ice Cave is located, which we know is where the loot is located, which we know is guarded by unrunnable trance, crack, zap, whatever they have, sorcerers.
Zappy sorcerers.
Yeah. I knew it was something stupid that you wouldn't want to see on a thing.
Not in a 6-pack, because I think they've been ambushing most of our runners tonight as well, so...
No, they were unrunnable, I thought.
Oh, that's what it was, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
So they can't ambush you, but you just can't get away from them. You have to get the turn order. And again, blink and you miss it. Fryteeth takes down Carrie. He's got his second orb lit. We've got orbs lit all over the place here. Mungo needs the loot. Needs to light up 3 more orbs. Fryteeth is the only person on stream thus far that has both the loot and the key, and is probably going to find Lich here pretty soon because he's in the right dungeon for it.
I'm curious to see. I mean, we don't really. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it, but I'm curious to see if he's going to just try and go for like 21 on that black belt and make a shot at Topher.
I mean, I've done it.
I'm kind of scared by it, but I'm kind of excited at the same time.
Yeah, I've done it before, especially with incentive massa. If you got a massa on that black belt, you could make him like a poor man's fighter. Just give him some gold bracelets and pearl rings, and just have him swing and hope that your mages can, treat him like a fighter. Get that defense sword out there, get all the, tempers and bonks and all that stuff on top of him, and get, make him a decent melee fighter at those low levels. And over on Foolish Feline's side, he did, in fact, like you said, pick up the key, and he is in go mode as well.
Looks like he's gonna be the first one to give us a look at Kraken. Dwight took out Tiamat while we were sitting over there looking at Fryteeth running through the dungeon and making his way down to, I believe it's Lich down here.
Yep.
So yeah, this is the first or the furthest we're gonna have seen into Kraken's floor here.
Yeah, and Foolish Feline, really good spot. I don't know if he's obviously seen Carrie's floor because he's class changed, so he knows where Carrie is.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it was only like a couple floors deep too, so it shouldn't take him too long to get back to it.
Yeah, so I imagine he's going to be the first of our runners, at least on screen, that's going to be in Topher here.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty close between him and Dwight. Dwight just needs to scoot back over to Northwest Castle for Kraken. Foolish just needs to go back over to, I believe it was Ice Cave, knock out Carrie.
And Dwight's about to put all the pieces together right now. He's going to head over to Ordeals here. He's going to see Northwest Castle. He's going to get his TNT. He's going to turn the TNT, get the key, and then, of course, like you said, head over to actual Northwest Castle and kill him a Kraken and then be in Topher not too much longer from now. As we got a Kraken here over on Foolish Feline's side, down on your bottom left.
Fire tunes open.
That's not too bad. It's not too bad. We know we've seen 2 ribbons at least on screen. I don't know if every runner has found both ribbons, but I know that one ribbon was in less than greater than, and the other was in Earth 3.
Correct. Yeah, and that one better treasure box right before Vampire.
Yes. And we got nuke strats happening from Pro as Invis 1 strats. I like seeing Invis 1 strats. You know, Spells Up and Crab Cakes were the ones that really started making the Invis 1 strats like kind of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've kind of deduced that Invis 2's got to be level 8 tonight. So, I mean, if all you have is Invis, you're going to use it.
Yeah. And, 7 hits for 6 something. And Foolish Feline, we got like mid-20s, like 23, 20-ish, somewhere in that general area. Knocks down Kraken, lights up the water orb, only needs to get to the fire orb. He knows where it is because, well, he's got the tail, so he obviously knows it's an ice cave. Trying to look at his tracking notes, maybe?
Yep, and Dwight running down to turn in that TNT, and I'm sure he'll probably check the little locked dwarf treasury room as well while he's here.
Over on Fryteeth's side, we've got a Lich sighting, so he, again, is just right there. Like, it's just crazy with
Woo! Almost had an exit ball.
Oof, that would have been rough. Back in the day, like when I first started the randomizer, if you selected exit, that's it. There was no returning. Like you were exiting out of that particular building. But devs have put a fail-safe into it, and luckily it worked out as we've got triple fiends going on.
Yeah, this is great. Lich and top. Yeah, everyone.
Foolish Feline lights up his 4th orb. Is going to be probably our first runner here into Topher. Fryteeth taking down Lich very quickly. Mundungo takes down Kraken. He's got his 2nd orb lit. Wow. What I was trying to say earlier is, like, it is crazy how spread out everybody goes in Inferno Floor Shuffle, and then just how close everybody ends up being at the end of it all.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the first 15, 20 minutes of the seed, everyone kind of more or less followed the same path, and then they all kind of shot out every single direction, took every single feasible route through the game, it felt like. And yeah, now we've got everyone converging back on the 1 point, so it's nice to see.
Yeah, Mundungo's got a lot of catch-up, but I think he knows where everything is. I mean, obviously, he's seen Carrie's floor. He knows the T is up here, because I remember him resetting out of it earlier after doing 4 hits, 4 damage. And should be able to kill Tia here as Foolish Feline, our first runner on screen, is going to be heading into Topher. And like you said, not too far ahead of Dwight as he takes on Kraken.
Yeah, and if Foolish can pull off this dive, this will set him really nicely for tomorrow. So, of our 3 on-screen runners, he's actually got the 3rd lowest point total with 47. So if he can pull this out and, you know, even place in the top 5, because, you know, obviously we can't see what everyone else is doing of the 23 players tonight. But if he can pull this out, this sets him up very nicely to kind of be our, our Duck Supreme tomorrow, depending on how he plays it.
And using the loot, getting through the key door, and he's going to move it on. And, like as many boxes as these runners have opened, with the boss scaling, I just can't see much is going to be in the way. Dwight doesn't feel good about his levels, so it's going to take a cheeky spike tile just to see if there was anything good there, and opts to leave.
I'm curious if maybe he realized he forgot a spell somewhere, or maybe he just really wants a couple more levels on his guys before making the attempt.
The tracking note says he doesn't have the key, but he has the key. I remember him doing all that stuff, so I'm not sure what he's doing.
I think our SG tracker, not Danny necessarily, but
yeah,
I think maybe some of the buttons got stuck because I believe Mundungu's already got his I believe it was the water orb he's got lit as well already.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Mundungu has earth, water, and is taking on the air orb right now. Only needs to go into the ice cave, his fire orb lit, and Fryteeth taking on Kraken. Gosh, the action is just hot right now.
I mean, I gotta give it a Fryteeth. I mean, throughout this entire scene, he's made very good use of that white shirt. Basically with the 3 mage kill on Tiamat 1, we're getting more white shirt usage here for Kraken. I gotta give it to him. He's making good use of his items and abilities when he can.
He does. Whatever he was looking for, either did not find or he decided to abandon it, because he is now in Topher. Fryteeth lights up his third orb. Is going to go on ahead and try to get that fourth orb lit up, but he knows he needs to go into Volcano. Does he know? Has he seen the Lich? I thought he knew.
He's got all 4 orbs lit. I think he's looking for that. I think he's trying to get some XP real quick.
Heard. Sorry again. Must be some sort of SG tracking issue here, because yeah, it's got to be what he's doing. But man, this is not the tile I would take.
Yeah, the only thing I can think is he's really hoping for like a group grind.
Yeah, but Lincoln, you miss over on Foolish Feline's side. Not only past Lich, but past Carry 2, and is taking on Kraken 2, which can be kind of a gatekeeper sometimes. So I would definitely keep our eyes on this battle. Even though Mundungu is taking on the Fire Fiend, it's going to line up his fourth orb here in a second. But man, Kraken hit really hard and took out that black mage.
Yeah, that one white shirt cast not really doing much work there.
No, not at all. Luckily, second white shirt is going to go off. The Defense Sword all should be good to go, and we know that life is level 1. As long as he remembered to go to Canary and pick up life on that night, he should be good to go.
I gotta say, I like Foolish Feline using Ruse on that red wizard in that top slot. I think that's ingenious.
No, I love it.
Like that's a good heads up play, knowing you have a skill or a spell available to you and using it, and really trying to direct Kraken's attention to your front line, and so as I think it, Kraken decides to backline.
Yeah. Well, Kraken always does like the backline. As Kraken 2 is down, we've got the red mage and the knight alive, so we can go on ahead and use some of those life charges. We're in pretty good shape. I love that he used the life on the knight and then switched over to life 2 for the white mage, because you want to conserve those life charges on your knight, especially going into the Tiamat battle.
Yeah, and especially too because I believe Foolish Feline happened across the Wizvamp Vampire pack earlier, and so he knows they've got some nasty stuff in here. So I don't think he wants to get tranced and held, and he just wants to make sure that everyone's got at least one cast of life, at least across his life.
Yeah, and our tracker helping us out here. Up in the top left-hand corner, we've got Mundungu here, and a couple of fiends as well, as Fryteeth is trying to get some levels. Just trying to get levels in general, just to make his Topher dive a thing. That's the problem with the black belts, man. Sometimes, you need the levels in order to go into Topher, whereas these guys can go into Topher at your mid-20s and be totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, at least I like the play, though, just going with the 3-man, not spending the spell charge to bring the black mage back up.
a lot going on here. As Tia 2 is being taken on by Foolish Feline, we've got Dwight right behind him, about to take on Kraken 2. And Dungo is in the Temple of Fiends on that floor right after the locker room. And Tia didn't do a whole lot. What was that, lit 2? Not much happening over on Tia's side. And 8 hits, 7-12. Tia 2 is down. We're just looking at Killer Chaos.
Yep. Rock Goal's going to have their say first. Dwight making his way over through Kraken. Zab getting the Black Mage and the Red Mage going up. So we're down to 2, and we know Kraken hits pretty hard. I know we've seen at least one defense sword on Dwight's side, so hopefully that'll carry him through this one.
Looks like Foolish Feline getting everything put together, trying to figure it all out. What he's going to do. He's going to go on ahead. He's a defense sword. We got a fast going off. We got some temper action. And we got white shirt. That's exactly what I think we would do. I like the idea of putting the fighter in the second slot. You're not going to get hit, half the time. But you can get hit, 25% of the time. And kind of keep your mages alive so that they can do, defensive strats or offensive, like temper and the white shirt and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and you've got a good variety of spells on your guys, so you want to try and keep those mages up as long as they can to load like tempers, fast, maybe get some healing out, all that good stuff.
So more Invis 1 strats, I'm loving that. Like, I felt like, when I first joined the randomizer, nobody ever used Invis 1. But now, it's like half a ruse, but you can actually put it on somebody. Nice.
Yeah, I like it, like you're saying, I like seeing it get used more. I think it's starting to show that our runners have a lot of more breadth of experience from not only kind of learning things on their own, but watching other people and seeing what works for them.
Foolish Feline, oh my! Makes it through. One person. That was scary over on Chaos' side. I wish we had called that a little bit better. Because he's down to 1 knight. The Chaos crits his knight for well over half his HP, and Joel survives it with another attack. And let's talk about some things for a second. So off stream, on stream, you notice the Foolish Feline is placed first. He was actually 4th place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 53 seconds. Off stream, our first place finisher with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 18:54 was Sir Link-A-Lot, who's been doing very well in this Duckling Derby. Davis with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 2 seconds, finishing in 2nd place. And Jat with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 36 seconds. Let's talk about what's happening to John here on our bottom right-hand side here. He is just down to himself, taking on a Tia 2.
And Tia 2 just threw out a Cure 4 as well. And now has nuclear.
This is bad. And he's missing with that massive. This is not good for Dwight. And Nuke coming out too. So we have Nuke and nuclear and Cure 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this Tia is not very friendly, I don't think.
Oh, and slow 2 luckily misses. Maybe he can get some good turn order, get some crits out of here, but not good. This is where Fast was huge, and obviously Fast did not land. And Cure 4 comes back around. He's got to reset out of this.
Yeah, this is like hold A and pray strats, like where you got to hope for like a crit loop or something.
We'll eventually get Foolish Feline in here, and Nuke takes him down. Unfortunately, Dwight does take a wipe out of here. He's going to probably try to get some more levels. And Mundungu, up in our top left-hand corner, is going to go on ahead and take on Kraken.
Yeah, and blink and you miss it too, though. Fryteeth's pulling carry too, so he's right behind.
I'm going to go figure out what's happening with Foolish Feline here, because he should be in here pretty soon.
Oh no. Mundungu took a zap from Kraken too, lost everybody but the white mage and had to reset out. Yeah. Not having a lot of, I believe Wall was locked out behind promotion, level 7 along with Cure 4. And if you only have the one ribbon, you really got to hope that zap doesn't land. So Dwight making his way back down. I'm pretty sure Dwight's looking to go get a couple more levels just for this dive. Dryteeth continued to beat his way through Carry 2, only lost to Black Mage so far. Not a huge loss. He was kind of the one that was left down to when we were doing the grind there a few minutes ago.
Wow. Like, who would have thought at this point, like, just kind of where Fryeteeth's levels were, like, much earlier in the game, like, how he is kind of, gearing himself to be second on stream. We'll see how things go once you get to Kraken 2, because we know Kraken 2 is kind of scary with the hits and some of the other stuff that Kraken 2 has.
Yeah, I mean, starting with Zap, though, if you only have that one ribbon, that's going to be kind of a really scary moment.
Yeah.
And then through that, we've seen a lot of what Tia has, Slow 2, Nuke, Nuclear, Cure 4. Not necessarily in that order, but just, yeah, these two fiends right before Chaos serving up a lot of pain tonight.
No. Trying to see if Feline wants to join us here in chat, talk about his run. And wow, Fryeteeth is in bad shape right now. Has to go on ahead and reset out of that Kraken battle, as only his White Mage was alive, and the White Mage wasn't going to really do anything with Thor's Hammer. And Mundungo is going to take on the fighter tile here.
Yeah, he's going back in. This is where the tail is at, so I'm pretty sure he's looking to promote, maybe get a couple more levels for some spell charges. Going back and picking up some needed spells to get through the game, grabbing that life on the Knight. Definitely gonna help. Dwight kind of churning his way through this hard giant Agama pack and Volcano Armory, and Badman doing Badman things on the really the only second floor of Topher. I think for me, I'd probably reset there and dive back in instead of wasting a life 2 charge.
So off stream, about 6.5 minutes after Foolish Feline finished in 4th place, we've got Static Pulse finishing in 5th place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 50 seconds. As Fryeteeth goes on ahead for a second dive here into Topher. And Dwight and Mundungo just trying to get some levels, I guess, to take on this Topher. And, it's Kraken with Zap and being able to hit hard. Tiamat 2 with all that evade, that it's kind of causing these runners a little bit of issue here. And Foolish Feline here in chat with us. How you doing?
Good evening.
Good evening.
That was pretty well done there, sir. GG.
Yeah, I was feeling really good about that. Lots of folks finishing at about the same time there. That was really exciting.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to see. We only had 3 minutes separating between you and Sir Link a lot. So between 1st and 4th place, dictated by 3 minutes time.
Yeah, I cannot complain, especially since this floor shuffle flag, just a few weeks ago when I first tried it, it was really giving me trouble. So I'm happy that I'm starting to get it worked out.
I hate to cut you off there, Foolish Feline, but off stream we've got Guelph35 finishing 6th place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 9 seconds. GG's Foolish Feline. You want to talk about the seed real quick? Because to be perfectly honest, Ale and I were watching a lot of things. A lot of stuff was happening. Just give us kind of a walkthrough of how the seed went for you.
Well, I headed north towards Matoya's fairly quickly after checking out Canaria and Provoca for the spells. I had to leave on my first visit, go south, get some 3rd level spells, and then I went back, and that was a really good decision because the floater was there.
Mm-hmm.
And getting in the air early, I think, is really what made this seed go. Getting that floater and
yeah, getting in the air early. I think Ale and I talked about it earlier. It can be kind of a blessing and a curse because you want to get in the air. You want to have that floater and that canoe to be able to explore the whole world. But at the same time, and it's so early on, like I felt like everybody just literally scattered into different directions of the world, and yeah, it was quite interesting to try to keep track of all four of you guys just flying in all kinds of different directions.
Yeah, for us,
you guys
when all
got
four of our runners are on, or all four on-screen runners are in the air by the 20-minute mark. It's a lot of action going on in a lot of different places.
Yeah, with Floor Shuffle especially, there's not really any set direction you need to go, because anything could be anywhere, so you just sort of have to feel things out.
Yeah, we actually talked about that over here on chat. It was interesting to see that, like, a lot of the things that are typically needed aren't really needed in this particular seed. I think that all the Fiend dungeons were available once you got in the air, because Tia was in Waterfall, Lich was in Volcano, Carrie was in Ice Cave, and Kraken was in Northwest Castle. So you had all those things that you could get to without the need of like the rod or the cube or anything like that. I think the only thing that was necessary was the cube, because it blocked Ice Cave, which had the loot. Did you see how nasty those sorcerers were?
Yes, I certainly did. I wiped twice to them and then decided to come back later with a ribbon.
Yeah, they were pretty gnarly. Yeah, and a lot were pointing out in chat. Yeah, that Tia 2 is a monster for sure. We got Frighty taking on Kraken 2 again. Well, we know the Kraken 2 has Zap, right?
Yeah, Zap, I believe it's the first spell in Kraken's arsenal, so kind of got a lucky round that first time where didn't cast anything, but I don't know if we're going to be sharing the same kind of luck. Are we seeing White Samurai or White Ninja strats?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what we're seeing right now, because I could have sworn the Masumi was on the black belt.
That black belt's next.
Oh, that was a huge hit! Oh, look it. You don't ever see White Samurai strats with a black belt lead, but that's a smart play. Knowing he wasn't able to grind that black belt up, decided to put the Masa on the white mage, and just because you couldn't learn life on the black belt. That's huge.
Yeah, I like the adjustments our runners have made so far. I mean, we had a similar conversation during one of the races last week. Kind of the same approach here. Fryteeth went and got a couple levels. Decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to make the white mage do all the work and let the black belt swing as a little Haynes t-shirt.
Yeah. And off stream, 7th place Demon RHK, official SRL time of 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 50 seconds. And Sidetown with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 13 seconds, finishes in 8th place. So yeah, outside of that, we got the herb pretty early on. Of course, because it's entrance floor shuffle and it's one of the last places you actually want to go to, Ordeals has to have progression, right? It always does. You got to walk yourself over to Ordeals. It's going to be a place that you go to do a thing that you go to and remember another place. It was the TNT. And of course, the TNT was, led to the key, which got you into go mode. And at that point, you knew you needed to just light some orbs and get going.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those odd routing things for this particular seed. It's just, depending on how much you dive, you could have technically seen 3 fiends before you even, shortly after getting the airship, I should say. Fryteeth getting through Tia 2. So, second on-screen runner coming up to Chaos here in just a moment.
Yeah, and I don't remember seeing much craziness out of Chaos, but Full Feline made pretty quick work of Chaos, so we'll see it. We'll see how this battle goes with Fryteeth, and I like it. As somebody that enjoys the black belt, likes to grind black belts to like a million and go do things, I love seeing people use black belts in this particular way, where you don't have to grind a black belt to like a million and still be able to get through the game.
Yeah, I think this can be kind of like really one of the underexplored aspects of the game so far. Like, we don't typically see a walking grind unless, you have, really favorable EXP for it. Typically with black belts, you do like that static, tile grind somewhere. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to see a different approach.
Yeah. So, Guelph in chat, Galaxy Brain play would have been to go to Ordeals before grabbing the airship so you could get that TNT. So yeah, Fryteeth still going White Samurai strats. I think it makes sense with the levels that they're at, with the mass immune where it is. Like, I like it. It's crazy. Who would have thunk it? You're gonna make your white mage be your main melee dealer here. I'm a big fan of this play. Chaos
somewhere off screen, Spells Up and Crab Cakes are smiling because I'm sure that's a play they would have both made.
Yeah, and Chadbert finishing 9th place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 3 seconds. And going lock strats, we got more power bonk happening. These classes were not forced, Lyra. These guys decided to choose these battles, or choose these classes. As we got a Tia 2 happening on the bottom.
1025. Wow. Big hit from the White Mage.
White Mage is killing it here. I am excited to get Fryteeth in here and talk about his White Mage strats here at the end of the game. And 6 hits, 261. Not a lot. 6 hits, not a lot out of the black belt either. We got the ribbon on the White Mage. Gonna survive this fire 3. One more hit from the Massa. 6 hits, 276. 6 hits, 208. Chaos is terminated with an official SRL time of 1 hour 36 minutes and 21 seconds. GG's to Fryteeth, finishing in 10th place. That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah, coming right behind him, Dwight's going to be pulling Chaos as soon as we get done with some rearranging here.
Yeah, we're going to see if Fryteeth wants to go on ahead and join us here.
So I think the scariest thing that we've seen from Chaos so far was that I believe he also opens with Zap for his spells.
Yeah.
Unless I missed the previous one. So when you only have 1 or 2 ribbons, really, that's kind of the big scary part of this particular scene.
Yeah. So yeah, Foolish Feline, before we get some of the other runners in here, do you want to talk any more about how the seed went for you? Any interesting aspects, at least from your end of the world?
Nothing in particular that springs to mind, to be honest.
All right, awesome. And Fryteeth, hanging out in chat with us. Fryteeth, GG's.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, of course, we're going to talk about your particular strategies and the late game of that. What made you decide to go from black belt strats to white mage strats?
Well, I went down there. I got, wiped out on that first attempt, and I said, well, the white mage is the one who's got life 2. So let's switch the items up and see if we survive.
Yeah, and hate to cut you off here, but Dwight, we were trying to get everybody figured out, and Dwight finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 59 seconds in 11th place. GG's to Dwight. Our third runner on stream to finish this up is Mundungo does take on Kraken 2. We'll get Dwight in here in just a moment. But Fryteeth, you're the only person on stream to take a black belt along. How did you feel that seed went for you as far as black belt strats are concerned?
So black belt I don't think ended up being that useful, but I like the black belt. But I've played enough of these. I played a few of these this week and found I could pretty easily adapt if I didn't find a grind I liked.
Yeah, we noticed that too. Like that adaptation, being able to decide, okay, I've got life at level 1, I've got life 2 at level, I think it was 5. I've got the mass, I've got power bonk, I've got, white shirts, brews. You have ways to keep your white mage alive. And you knew that the scaling was where it was to make that decision to go, you know what, my black belt is not really holding up his weight. I'm going to go on ahead and switch over to this white mage strat. That was really awesome. Like, we really enjoyed it here, me and Phil.
Yeah, I gotta say, it was like an ingenious adjustment. I don't think it's one I would have made, honestly.
Yeah, I'm still learning what I'm doing, so every once in a while I luck into something that makes sense.
I mean, it does make sense. I mean, the way you explained it, it makes perfect sense now that I think about it. Like, I think my general answer was, I took a black belt. Dang it, I want to punch something. I probably would have gone and grinded, and probably just lost time doing it. So, I mean, swapping over to white mage and letting him do the carry worked really well. It was a really good adjustment.
Yeah, hopefully we can get Dwight in here in just a moment. I'm gonna. Oh no, Dwight isn't here. Dwight, what's up, buddy?
Well,
Hey.
you got me in here. You got what you wanted, Gregley.
Oh man, dude, thank you. This is what I wanted. I needed Dwight in here to hang out with me. As before we even start talking about how your run went, and Bungu taking out Tia 2 is going to go on ahead and take on our final boss here, Chaos, at about an hour 40 minutes or whatever. But before he goes on ahead and takes on Chaos, tell us a little bit about your run.
Well, I knew I was kind of scared when I found the floater pretty early in Waterfall down there. So I was like, oh no, if somebody went here right away. Because I waited, because I was like, well, I'm going to go to Elfland first, see if I can find Warp, which I did. But, I don't know, I made some missteps early. I overbought, didn't have enough money to stay at the inn, had to go fight imps. Just little stuff I think added up. I knew I was a little light on levels going into the first run on Temple of Fiends, but, go for first or last, I guess.
Yeah.
My thoughts.
Yeah, with the scaling, it makes to go in your early 20s or like late teens or whatever the level. So I don't hate that play, especially because it could work out for you. Just Kraken 2 and Tia 2 had other plans for you. But Mundungu, we're going to go on ahead. It's our last runner on stream. He is taking on Chaos. Let's talk about this run here. What's he doing? He got a white shirt coming out. You got some power bonk action. Chaos is going to hit 117 on that Black Mage. Black Mage has kind of done his job throwing that fast out there, but we're going to get his temper out anyway, as the fighter is going to go ahead and start attacking. More temper stress come out. Chaos does take out the Black Mage, but after the temper comes out, wow, it hits 1200 damage. That is a monstrous damage there, as I can't imagine Chaos is going to take many more of those attacks. Another temper, more white shirt. I'm assuming Boris is going to make this happen. Boris, 6 hits, 406, did not take down Chaos, but more temper strats, more white shirts, more warp? What is he?
Swinging.
More swinging, okay. There it is. As the Excal 4 makes things happen in Mundungu with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 20 seconds. Finishes in 13th place. That's awesome. That's it for us here over on Speed Gaming 3. We're going to go on ahead and try to pull Mundungu out here. And then let's talk to our runners here. Dwight, I didn't mean to cut you off earlier. Tell us a little bit more about your run.
Well, I think I could have, knowing how Chaos was kind of a pushover, I think if I could have made it past Tia with my solo knight, I could have hero moded it, I think. But slow 2 and nuclear had other plans for me.
Yeah, that was we saw that on our side when you were not landing any hits on Tia 2 and nuclear slow 2. Just all kinds of nastiness was coming out of Tia. I was like, this battle cannot go long on Dwight's side.
Yeah, I was timing my inputs hoping to spike a crit loop, and that was my only hope. That's why I just didn't reset when, I lost nothing. Because if I got a crit loop or something like that, I would have been able to get there. But
yeah.
But overall, it was a really fun seed. I mean, I never found. I guess I forgot to check an entrance because I never found Northwest Castle. Also, where was the white shirt? I noticed Mundung had the white shirt. I would have loved to have that, I think.
White
shirt was Sharknado floored down in the bottom left room, if my memory serves.
Yeah.
I had found the loose by then, so I wasn't going for those chests. I skipped a lot of boxes.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, with the looses being where they were, with Floater being so early, and obviously negating the need of the canal. How many people were going to really start making some gambles and not check certain boxes? And we obviously found out that the slab wasn't really required. I mean, obviously it was the power bunk, which is nice, but you don't really need it to beat the game. Obviously, missing out on that white shirt. I mean, it would have been nice, especially since, Invis 2 was, level 8? We never saw it on our screen, so we assumed it was that high.
Yeah.
It was in Lefane.
Yeah.
All right. Waiting on Mundungu to get here. Fry Teeth, you got anything else for us about your particular run?
Not really. Just that first trip into Waterfall, getting out of there with that canoe with the Black Mage by himself was.
I was holding you on that way out after that mummy pack you got away from. Like, I think you dodged like three hits from them. Like, they all missed you, and then you got like that hero run all the way to the entrance. I was like, he made it out! Like, I literally cut Greg off and felt bad for doing.
Well, we talked about that too, because I think that mummy pack was just down to you and your white mage and your black mage, and I think they missed like 8 attacks in a row. Finally took out your white mage, and then they missed like another 3 or 4 attacks on your black mage, and you were able to run away. And then I think you hit a nightmare pack that you got first turn run away, and then you were able to finally get out of Waterfall. You were the first person in the air, by the way, because of that particular play.
I figured I might be. I mean, that was pretty amazing getting out of there. Like that.
When were you in the air, Fry Teeth?
I think it was about 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think Fry and Foolish were pretty much like only like 30 seconds to a minute apart in the air. And then I believe it was Dwight Mundungu. They came in just a couple minutes later on. Like, all 4 of you guys, for our on-screen runners, we were in the air by like the 20-minute mark, or shortly thereafter.
Yeah. I'm going to go on ahead and message Mundungu to see if he wants to join us for an interview. Otherwise, we're going to go on ahead and try to wrap this up. So why don't you guys go on ahead and talk about your run, or feel free to talk about your run a little bit while I try to message him.
I mean, one thing I want to ask, for Dwight, I mean, I think you were the first on-screen runner by a number of minutes to find that second loose. Like, at what point in your mind were you thinking, I'm just going to stop opening boxes and go? Like, were you looking for things like ribbons or dragon armor, or were you just kind of like cherry-picking your way through it?
My thoughts were, when I found that second loose, I was like, well, I'd like to find one ribbon. So I'm going to walk my way, and I'm going to open any boxes that are maybe 3 or 4 steps away from my step route, and see if I can find one. And if I don't, then I'd go check, like, I'd just write down where the sky rooms were. They had a bunch of boxes, just do chest density until I found one. Because with short Topher and things like that, or lower scaling, even with 2 life 2 casters, it would have been rough to make it through there without a ribbon, I think. And then, but I found that one in Earth, so then I was just like, skip everything, not even opening anything at all.
I think that was a good play to make, simply because, hindsight being what it is, Chaos had Zap, Kraken had Zap. If you're trying to dive Topher and you've got no ribbons, you're kind of leaving a lot of stuff up in the air. And you're really hoping for some good RNG to roll your way, because there's a lot of stuff that can roll in the boss scripts that'll just wipe you one round, so...
If I can interject for a moment, where was the second loose? Because I don't think I ever found it.
The slab was in Volcano Armory. I just can't tell you which entrance that was.
That one I found. It's whatever the other one is that I missed.
The floater was the first one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's correct.
I've done that before too. Like, the first box I opened in one particular race was one of the incentive items, and I went the entire game thinking, I still got to find another one. Like, where is this stupid?
Yeah, I know Dwight probably felt really awesome about finding that canal at about the hour mark. He made it to the bottom of that dungeon and found that Cardia treasure with the canal, and it was like, I don't need you. What is this? All right,
Yeah,
so
it was-
Mundungu... Oh, sorry, go on.
It was a big bummer to find that Cardia treasure at the bottom of that, too. I did pick up an Ice Shield +3 down there, which I did equip and all the way to the end of the game, but yeah, that was a bummer.
Yeah, so real quick before we go on ahead and wrap some stuff up, we're going to go on ahead and talk about anybody else that finished after Dwight. So we know that Dwight finished 12th place, hour 37:59. J-Man 1865. 1865. Okay. Finished an official SRL time of 1 hour 39:04. Mundungu, of course, finished the official SRL time of 1 hour 42:20, and then after that, DVO XS finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour 43:39. And we've still got a lot more racers running. Rob Draven out there, Karant, Avos, Udalar, Reese Wolf, Tom Strife, who just finished as well, Jonathan Yoshi, and Life Reboot. So quite a few people out there still doing their thing. Before we wrap everything up, let's go on ahead and go over some standings there. Are they updated yet? Because I know Dark Moon is on top of those kind of things. What are we looking at here, Ale?
Yeah, so I'm actually looking at it right now. So I know we've still got some stuff in flux based on how some racers finish up here. But so tomorrow, what the plan is we're going to have the top 8 restreamed between the two networks. And I want to say it's almost a guarantee that we're going to see Dwight and Foolish again tomorrow, whether it's over here on our sister network over on Randomania. On Dungu and Fry, you guys have 66 and 64 points respectively, and I can't read this Excel sheet because it's kind of small. But I think you guys are like right on the cusp of top 8. But just keep in mind, I mean, a good strong finish tomorrow can take you from 8th or 9th all the way to 1st and win this thing, because there's not a lot of points that really separate our pack at this moment.
Who's in first place right now, Ale?
First place at the moment is actually a tie with 90 points between DBS and Sir Linkalot.
Oh, so our first place finisher and our second place finisher tied with 90 points. That's going to be huge to watch those two runners do their thing.
Yeah, and it's hard to say too. I mean, yeah, they finished great today, but you look back at the standings, like the DVS, his first race, he came in kind of middle of the pack at 16th. Sir Linkalot's been a little more consistent. Like his lowest finish was 8th, but still, all it takes is the right flag set in the wrong seat, and it can take a strong runner and throw him for a loop, and kind of leave the door wide open for anyone to sneak in and take first place and become our next Duckling Supreme. So.
Yeah, I agree. So tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, on not only a speed gaming channel, but a Randomania channel, we will have our finals. Our track 4, A Mute City, is going to happen. And these particular flags are going to be your standard tournament style flags. We got a couple of loose. We've got, your standard encounter table. It's pretty much what you would expect to see if you were in a tournament setting here at the Final Fantasy Randomizer community. Before I move on to final thoughts, Avos did just now finish at 16th place with an official SRL time of 1 hour 52:45. I'm going to go on ahead and throw it over to Ale Markin real quick, see if he has any final questions for these runners before we move on ahead and get some final thoughts from our finishers here.
I mean, the only real question I have is just, what you guys have thought of the Derby so far and what your plans are for the next seed tomorrow.
Well, I, for one, have been enjoying the Derby quite a lot. Thanks for organizing. And for tomorrow, I guess I'm just going to wander around aimlessly and hope for the best.
I like it. It's a good plan.
That's a good plan. That's what I always do.
Yeah, same. This has been fun getting into this randomizer. I've played a lot of Zelda randomizer in the past, so this is something different to get into. So thanks for all doing all the work and all the organization on this. And yeah, kind of the same thing. I haven't had much of a chance to look at tomorrow's flags yet, so it'll be interesting tomorrow.
Dwight?
I'm pretty excited. Thanks for organizing this. Everybody that's put in all the work to make these Duck Derbies what they are. I've been having a blast. I feel like I'm still, anybody's still in it. Like, I was looking at the sheet myself, and like, even some of the runners that are in 10th, 12th place could win tomorrow and just take the whole thing down. So that's really awesome and really well designed. What excites me the most tomorrow is the incentivized ribbon.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means I can skip my boxes like I like to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Schrodinger's ribbon. Don't let it bite you.
Yeah, exactly. Just remember, if you find a ribbon in a box, it may not be the loose ribbon. But yeah, I appreciate you guys all showing up. Like, it's been an awesome turnout. Like we said, 23 runners off stream. I think there were 26 total that signed up and raced. It could be anybody's game, so make sure you guys check out tomorrow's run, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, on either a Speed Gaming or Random Mania channel. Elmarkin, final words.
I mean, I just want to thank Speed Gaming for continuing to host us and, give us a place to let our fantastic ducks show off their skills and kind of strike some fear into the hearts of veterans everywhere, because you guys are ferocious, and I've seen some of you guys take out some more experienced runners, and I'm kind of anxious over here waiting for you guys to jump in the pool and start challenging all the big folks. So I'm glad to see you guys out here doing it. I'm glad to see we've had so much participation. Not just in the Derby itself, but in the weekly duckling races that we put on, and Greg graciously goes through and combs through and comes up with amazing seeds and flags for everybody to run. So I mean, it's been fun all around. I can't be thankful enough for the opportunity to help out with it. So
yeah, and I really appreciate having Ale hang out with me and help me put this thing together. I'm Gregory Puff. Elmarkin's actually been helping me put together the Duckling Derby. Dark Moon, who's doing the restream over on Randomania, is the other kind of part of our little, Triforce, I guess is what you would call us here, putting the Duckling Derby together. We've been very excited to do this. The track 3's over. We've got our standings happening here just a little bit. We've got a tie for first between Sir Link-A-Lot. You said Davis, is that correct? DVS?
yeah, DVS.
Awesome. So check in tomorrow. And yeah, that's pretty much it for us. On behalf of myself, Final Fantasy Randomizer community, Elmarkin, our tracker, Danny, and our 4 racers tonight, and Speed Gaming, have a wonderful rest of your night. We will see you guys around.